All right, today we're going to dive into a problem that is a huge headache for so many businesses, that chaotic, super time-consuming world of managing important documents. We're going to explore how to transform that whole workflow from, well, a manual nightmare into something streamlined and automated. So let's get into it and see how to leave those nightmares behind for good.
So let me just ask you this. Are your teams still printing, stuffing envelopes, and manually tracking legal notices or contracts? Are you still trying to piece together spreadsheets and courier receipts just to prove that a critical document actually got delivered? If any of that sounds familiar, you know exactly the headache we're talking about.
You know, the old way of doing things? It isn't just some small inconvenience. It's a genuine roadblock to growth. It's a process that just bleeds time, money, and efficiency, and it keeps your best people stuck on tedious logistics instead of focusing on the big picture. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what this manual nightmare actually means, because it's so much more than just a bunch of paperwork. It's a system that's just loaded with hidden and very costly risks. What's really insidious here is how all these little problems just stack on top of each other. I mean, high operational costs, that's a given. But it's the simple human error in drafting a notice or the totally fragmented dispatch records that lead to the real trouble. You get delayed responses, you can't handle a sudden rush of work, and worst of all, you're opening the door to serious compliance risks that can turn into massive drains on your revenue. It's a total chain reaction of inefficiency.
But what if you could just break that chain? Well, that's where we find a much smarter way to work. It's all centered on a unified automation platform that's designed to solve these exact problems.
So at its core, DSautomate is what you'd call a hybrid communication platform. The really crucial phrase here is end-to-end. This isn't just about, firing off an email. It's about managing the entire life of a document, from the very first draft all the way to a legally compliant delivery, and it doesn't matter if that's digital or a physical piece of mail. The whole platform is really built on three powerful pillars. First up is automation, the power to send out customized documents to literally thousands of people with a single click. Second is lifecycle management, which means everything from templates to digital signatures to dispatch all happens in one central hub. And third, and this is huge, it's all built on a foundation of compliance, making sure every single document is stored securely and meets all the regulatory standards. And when you see it in practice, the platform's versatility really shines. You've got physical automation that's fully integrated with India Post for things like registered mail. Then you have digital automation across email, SMS, and WhatsApp. You can digitally sign hundreds of documents all at once. You can even create the notices right inside Microsoft Word with an AI-powered tool that, get this, supports 18 languages. So now that we know what it does, let's pop the hood and look inside the engine. Let's see just how simple this whole process becomes when you go from manual to automated. The workflow is honestly incredibly straightforward. You start by either drafting the document or just uploading a PDF you already have. Then you assign who needs to sign it. Step 3 is applying that digital signature, which can be Aadhaar-based for full legal validity. Then you just choose your delivery channel: email, WhatsApp, physical post, or hey, all of the above. The engine handles everything else, dispatching and tracking it all while you watch the progress on one simple dashboard. And that choose your channel step, it is so important. This hybrid approach is the real key. Digital channels are super fast, they're cost-effective, and you get real-time tracking. But for people who aren't online, or for notices where physical delivery is actually required by law, the integrated India Post option makes sure you have proof of dispatch and can reach absolutely everyone, no exceptions, and stay compliant. Of course, none of this matters if it doesn't hold up in a legal setting, right? Well, this quote gets right to the point. Every single signature is compliant with India's IT Act, which makes them tamper-proof and legally admissible. So this isn't just about being convenient. It's about creating a secure, verifiable audit trail for everything. So what happens when you combine all this speed, compliance, and control? Well, the results are pretty dramatic. For human resources teams, this means doing things like sending out offer letters and onboarding documents up to 90% faster. I mean, just think about the time you save just getting new hires in the door and started. For the sales team, the impact is all about velocity. By getting contracts signed and executed without any friction, teams can speed up their sales cycle by as much as 70%. That is a direct line from automation straight to revenue. And for legal departments, the folks who live and breathe this stuff, we're seeing a 60% reduction in turnaround time. This frees up brilliant legal professionals to focus on high-value strategic work instead of chasing paperwork. So who benefits the most from this?
The truth is the impact is huge across the board. Sectors like lending and finance, legal and law firms, insurance and collections, really, any industry that depends on high volumes of critical, regulated communication sees a massive upside. And look, this isn't just theory. The platform is already trusted by some really forward-thinking companies in these exact spaces. We're talking fintechs like Nira and SmartCoin, online dispute resolution platforms like Kadri, and even career companies are using this to manage their most important communications.
And all of this brings us to one last really crucial question. Just imagine your legal, your sales, and your HR teams completely free from the friction of manual document workflows. What could they accomplish with all of that reclaimed time and energy? That right there is the real promise of automation.